Spoiler alert, Ruben doesn't think he is someone who knows everything the best. He is just simply sharing his opinion on how strong current classes are in the Battlegrounds and which are the best. If you disagree, that's totally fine. I am always open.
What, Rebecca? You always
feedback.
open? I thought we had something special here. So let me say this real quick. I don't think there is a best class. I think it's a lot depending about the player as well. I don't think there is one superior class. However, I still made this top 10 based on my experience and what I think. It doesn't mean though number 9 is like a lot weaker than number 1. Not at all. I'm just saying if I had a top 10, if I had one which I should make, this would be my current setup, what I think about the game. Hey, what's up guys, it's Ruben here. And today I am going to talk about the best classes for the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind and in specific for the Battlegrounds. This is my own and personal opinion after playing the Battlegrounds for many hours on the public test server and afterwards on a live server with the early access. The reason I'm doing this video is because I get this asked like 10 times a day on every live stream. Again, this is based on my own opinions, so if you disagree, that's totally fine. So let's cut all of the rest of the remaining bullshit and go to the point. On number 1, we have the Magicka Templar. The reason for this is because you can build an incredibly strong character with the Magicka Templar. They can have great healing, great self-sustain thanks to their Magicka Steel, and great DPS as well. Not to mention that you can make them tanky. You can make them incredibly tanky with carrying heavy armor and still not lacking in DPS or sustain. The pros of the Magicka Templar are DPS, healing, tanky. The cons of this are, well, only that you are mainly the primary focus in group fights because people don't like your healing. On number 2 we have the Magicka Sorcerer. Thanks to the light armor skill shoot, which returns Magicka plus the other shootings, makes the Magicka Sorcerer a very hard opponent to kill. Especially 1 vs 1, they can keep shield stacking without getting their resources drained, and they can put out a lot of pressure on you. They also have great movability thanks to their port, and they have an incredibly strong execute. Anyone who has played Battlegrounds so far, I am 100% sure you already got kills to like 100 times by Magicka Sorcerers with the Mage's Wrath. So the pros of the Magicka Sorcerers are good movability, great DPS, good sustain. The cons of this can be stamina can be a problem if you constantly get CC'd, you know, total dark by Templars on you. Also, there are people, and I don't mean a few, but a decent amount of people at the moment in Battlegrounds, which are using Shield Breaker. So that's very dangerous, especially if you're low health. On number 3 within the background Templar gameplay, yeah, very logical, I know, is the Stamina Nightblade. The Stamina Nightblade is a real danger in the hands of a good player in the Battlegrounds. There is lots of line of signing where they can disappear behind, not to mention the burst potential of this class. That combined with no CP, which causes many people not to have a lot of crit resistance, makes them a real threat on the battlefield. I've seen Magicka Nightblades burst people down in like 1.5 seconds. It's insane. The pros: great burst potential, great movability. The cons of this build are most likely they are squishy, and resource management can be a bit hard if you're not too experienced with it. What I mean is that you panic and spam roll dodge and all that shit. Number 4, we have the Magicka Dragonite. The Magicka Dragonite is incredibly good in the hands of someone who knows how to use it. It can be very tanky, but still have some great burst potential. Also, they can keep up a constant pressure on their enemies, which makes it hard for you to go offensive. So again, this build, it has good sustain, can be very tanky, and have good burst potential as well. I mean, holy shit. The pros of this are tanky, good DPS, and good sustain. The cons are, relies on a lot of dots, you know. If you face an enemy, for example, a Stamina Templar or a Magicka Templar, which has Purge, you are basically fucked. You don't have a lot of chance to get him down though. Next up, quickly becoming one of my favorite classes, is the Stamina Warden. The Stamina Warden has some insane, and when I say insane, I mean insane, burst potential. This is thanks to their abilities, which you can time, so they all impact at once. Think about Subterranean Assault, which takes 3 seconds, the Cliff Diver, which takes like 1.5 seconds, and Crit Rush, which is instant. You place a Subterranean Assault, Cliff Diver, Crit Rush in, and they will all impact at the same exact time, which is a great combination. They aren't as fragile as a Nightblade, but they can still have the same DPS output. However, they lack the movability of the so said Nightblade. So the pros: great DPS, good sustain, not incredibly squishy, but not incredibly tanky as well. It's still a class where you either go DPS or you go a bit more tanky focus. The cons: lacks movability, can't outheal lots of pressure. Basically what I mean with that is, if you get pressured a lot, you can't just spam figure and be like, yeah, la 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 la. No, you will die. That will hurt. Next up is my all-time favorite. I'm still staying loyal to this class. The Stamina Templar. Everyone lost the Templar when fighting them with the power of the Robo. Even though they have this skill, it doesn't mean Templar is OP or something. I mean, I've seen a lot of drama about it. I'm not going into detail about it. They have some great DPS and good sustain. However, they can become a bit squishy. The Templar is a little bit stuck in a triangle in my opinion, where you can only pick 2 out of 3 choices. The 3 choices being sustain, defensive capabilities and offensive capabilities. So you can either pick 2 of them. So what I mean with this is, you either have great sustain and great DPS, but you are squishy, or you aren't squishy and you have great DPS but you don't have sustain, etc, etc. That's what I mean with this. So the pros, depending on how you build, the Templar can be incredibly tanky, have great DPS or great sustain. The cons of this build are mainly, a lot of people will focus you on this, you know. A lot of people don't like your power of the Robo skill, they want you dead. As well as, overall most Templars build them so you aren't too tanky, and that's why people will focus you as well. They want to get rid of the DPS, so you will be a primary focus if there isn't a healer in your group. Next up is a Stamina Dragonite, and this one is kinda the same as a Stamina Templar in my opinion. You either choose 2 out of 3 options, so you're going to be tanky and offensive, good DPS, but not a lot of sustain, or you have a lot of sustain and being tanky, but you don't have a lot of burst. However, they still have Leap, which is an incredibly strong ultimate, deals great DPS and also gives back resources. Pros of this build is, it is a very forgiving class in my opinion. Cons, not that great of DPS, tankiness or sustain. Pick 2 out of 3. And don't get me wrong, I know some insane Stamina Dragonites there, out there will whoop my ass, you know. It's doable. It's definitely doable. So number 8, we have the brother of the Stamina Warden, the Magicka Warden. The Magicka Warden can be built for 2 roles, DPS or support. You can definitely go tanky build as well, but it's definitely not as strong as other classes regarding tank potential. Though in my personal opinion, Stamina Warden is superior over the Magicka Warden regarding DPS. Support wise, the Magicka Warden can do some great AoE healing and debuffing on enemy plays. Think about Corrupting Feud, reduces enemy healing taken. They can also greatly increase their friends' defensive capabilities and boost their psycho and spell resistance. The pros of this build is great support, great sustain thanks to their pets. Cons of this build are not too much DPS when focused on healing and supporting / debuffing enemies, will be primarily focused in Battlegrounds. On number 9 we have the Stamina Sorcerer. The reason I've put this so low is because I just didn't see any Stamina Sorcerers wreaking havoc in the Battlegrounds. I am not at all saying this is a bad class. Please don't kick my ass, Lord Fangrush. I am just saying that this class in my opinion has a harder learning curve and is hard to master and is not that much rewarding if you finally manage it. Hopefully I will be proven wrong, and hopefully we will see some great Stamina Sorcerers in the Battlegrounds very soon. So far I haven't seen it. Also, a lot of Stamina Sorcerers use Dizzying Swing as the main DPS, and it's kinda hard to land on a player who knows what they are doing. Pros: good movability, good DPS. Cons: Well, using this in swing mean DPS like I already said, hard to land. Also depending on how you build, it can be a bit on the squishy side sometimes if you really go for a very bursty setup. And last but not least, Magic Annihilate. So this is a class I just see absolutely no one playing. Maybe they are effective as bomb blades, but in Battlegrounds they aren't effective at all. The overall DPS from a Magic Annihilate is not that great. And the sustain can be okay, you know, but it's squishy, not a lot of burst potential, only the nuking potential. I honestly hope someone can make this work, and I honestly hope someone will make it work for the Battlegrounds, because I would love to see some Magic Annihilates as enemies. So far I haven't seen any, and I don't think I will see any. So thank you guys very much for watching. Do not forget to like, subscribe and comment. Once again, this was my own personal opinion. Don't get mad at me if you disagree, you know. Don't get rebel. I know there are some of you people who maybe are incredibly good at a Samsorg, or incredibly good at a Mag Decay, or are maybe thinking another class should be much higher and another much lower. I know, okay? Again, this is my own personal opinion. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just trying to share with my community what I think, and so I can link people on my Twitch to this video. Thank you very much for watching. Much more content coming in. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Bye bye. See you in Terminal. Ruben out.